Now, sirs, have you dispatched this thing?
Ah, my good lord, he's dead.
Why, that's what's said. Go, get you to my house. The king and all the peers are here at hand. Away, be gone.
Go call our uncle to our present state. Say we intend to try his grace today. How now? Why look'st thou pale? Why tremblest thou? Where is our uncle? What's the matter, Suffolk?
Dead in his bed, my lord. Gloucester is dead.
Marry, God forfend.
God's secret judgment. I did dream tonight the Duke was dumb and could not speak a word.
How fares my lord? Help, lord! The king is dead.
He doth revive again, madam. Be patient.
Oh, heavenly God.
How fares my gracious lord?
Comfort, my sovereign, gracious Henry, comfort.
My lord of Suffolk, comfort me. Came he right now to sing a raven's note whose dismal tune bereft my vital powers? And thinks he that the chirping of a wren by crying comfort from a hollow breast can chase away the first conceived sound? Hide not thy poison with such sugared words. Lay not thy hands on me. Forbear, I say! That touch affrights me as a serpent's sting. Thou baleful messenger, out of my sight!
Why do you rate my lord of Suffolk thus? Although the duke was enemy to him, yet he most Christian-like laments his death. And for myself, foe as he was to me, might liquid tears or heart-offending groans or blood-consuming sighs recall his life, I would be blind with weeping, sick with groans, look pale as primrose with blood-drinking sighs, and all to have the noble duke alive.
Oh, woe is me for Gloucester, wretched man.
It is reported, mighty sovereign, that good Duke Humphrey traitorously is murdered by Suffolk and the Cardinal Beaufort's-me.
That he is dead, good Warwick, 'tis too true, but how he died, God knows, not Henry. Enter his chamber, view his breathless corpse, and comment then upon his sudden death.
That shall I do, my liege. Stay, Salisbury, with a rude multitude till my return. Come hither, gracious sovereign, view this body.
Oh, this is to see how deep my grave is made. For seeing him, I see my life in death.
As surely as my soul intends to live with that dread king that took our state upon him to free us from his father's wrathful curse, I do believe that violent hands were laid upon the life of this thrice-famed duke. For see, his face is black and full of blood. It cannot be but he was murdered here.
Why, Warwick, who should do the duke to death? Myself and Beaufort had him in protection, and we, I hope, sir, are no murderers.
But both of you were vowed Duke Humphrey's foes. And you, forsooth, had the good duke to keep.
Then you, belike, suspect these noblemen.
Who finds their heifer dead and bleeding flesh, and sees fast by a butcher with an axe, but will suspect 'twas he that made the slaughter?
Are you the butcher, Suffolk? Where's your knife?
I wear no knife to slaughter sleeping men, but here's a vengeful sword rusted with ease, that shall be scarred in his rancorous heart that slanders me with murder's crimson badge. Say if thou darest, proud lord of Warwickshire, that I am faulty in Duke Humphrey's death.
What dares not Warwick, if false Suffolk dare him?
Now, lords! Your wrathful weapons drawn here in our presence. Dare you be so bold?
Dread lord, the commons send you word by me. Unless Lord Suffolk straight be done to death or banished for England's territories, they will by violence tear him from your palace and torture him with grievous lingering death. They say, by him the good Duke Humphrey died. They say, in him they fear your highness' death.
Go, Salisbury, and tell them all from me I thank them for their tender, loving care. And had I not been cited so by them, yet did I purpose as they do entreat. For sure my thoughts do hourly prophesy mischance unto my state by Suffolk's means. And therefore by his majesty I swear, whose far unworthy deputy I am, He shall not breathe infection in this air, but 3 days longer on the pain of death. Banishment!
Let me flee for gentle Suffolk.
Ungentle queen to call him gentle Suffolk. No more, I say! If thou dost plead for him, thou wilt but add increase unto my wrath. If after 3 days' space thou here beest found, on any ground that I am ruler of, the world shall not be ransom for thy life. Come, Warwick. Come, good Warwick, go with me. I have great matters to impart to thee.
His chance and sorrow go along with you. Heart's discontent and sore affliction be playfellows to keep you company. And threefold vengeance tends upon your steps.
Cease, gentle queen, these execrations. And let thy Suffolk take his heavy leave.
Hast thou not spirit to curse thine enemy?
No, but the ground that I am banished from. Oh, I curse away a winter's night. Though standing naked on a mountain top where biting cold would never let grass grow, and think it but a minute spent in sport.
Give me thy hand, and let me do it with my mournful tears. I will repeal thee, or adventure to be banished myself, and banished I am, if but from thee. Go, speak not to me, even now be gone. Oh, now farewell, and farewell life with thee.
Was this poor Suffolk 10 times banished, once by the king, and 3 times thrice by thee? The wilderness is populous enough, so Suffolk had thy heavenly company. Thou art where thou art, there is the world itself. Where thou art not, desolation.
Oh, the goes bow so fast. What news, I prithee?
To signify unto his majesty that Cardinal Beaufort is at point of death. For suddenly a grievous sickness took him that makes him gasp and stare and catch the air, blaspheming God and cursing men on earth. Sometimes he speaks as if Duke Humphrey's ghost were by his side. Sometimes he calls the king, and I am sent to tell his majesty that even now he cries aloud for him.
Go, take this heavy message to the king. I'll get thee hence. The king thou knowest is coming.
Oh, let me stay. Befall what may befall.
For France, sweet Suffolk, let me hear from thee. For wheresoever thou art in this world's globe, I'll have an iris that will find thee out.
I go.
And take my heart with thee.
A jewel, locked in the worthless cask that ever did contain a thing of worth. Even as a splitting bark, so sunder we. This way fall I to death.
This way for me.
Speak, no such
My sovereign, if thou beest death, I'll give thee England's treasure, so thou wilt let me live and feel no pain.
My sovereign speaks.
Bring me unto my trial when you will. Died he not in his bed? Where should he die? Torture me no more. I will confess. Alive again. Let me not see his face.
I'll not 1,000 pounds to look on him.
He hath no eyes. The dust hath blinded them. Give me some drink. And bid the apothecary
bring the strong poison that I bought of him.
Oh, thou eternal mover of the heavens, look with a gentle eye upon this wretch.
See how the pangs of death do make him grin.
Disturb him not. Let him pass peaceably.
Peace unto his soul, if God's good pleasure be. O Cardinal, if thou thinkst on heaven's bliss, hold up thy hand. Make signal of thy hope. He dies and makes no sign. Oh, God, forgive him.
So bad a death, or choose a monstrous life.
Forbear to judge, for we are sinners all. Close up his eyes, and let us all to meditation.
Bring forth the soldiers of our prize. Here shall they make their ransom on the sand, or with their blood stain this discoloured shore.
What is my ransom, master? Let me know.
1,000 crowns, or else lay down your head.
How much will you pay, or off goes yours? What, think you much to pay 2,000 crowns? Cut both the villains' throats! I'll give it to them!
So will I never spare my life.
I lost my ear in laying the prize aboard. Therefore, to revenge it, shalt thou die. So might be that I might have my will.
Break me, thou shalt be paid. Look at my George, I am a gentleman.
Oh, so am I. My name is Walter Whitmore. And how I start, thou?
Thy name affrights me, and whose sound is death. A cunning man did calculate my birth, and told me that by water I should die. Stay, Whitmore, for thy prisoner is a prince. The Duke of Suffolk, William de la Poole.
The Duke of Suffolk muffled up in rags?
Aye, but these rags are no part of a duke. The honourable blood of Lancaster must not be shed by such a jaded groom.
Speak, Captain, shall I stab the forlorn swain? On our longboat side, strike off his head.
Yes, not for my life. Poole. Sir Poole. Lord.
Aye, kennel! Cardinal! Sink! Whose filth and dirt troubles the silver spring where England drinks. By lips that kiss the queen shall slate the ground! And thou that smilest at good Duke Humphrey's death against the senseless wind shall claim in vain!
No, I will a God to shoot forth thunder upon these paltry servile abject drudges! It is impossible that I should die by such a lowly vassal as thyself.
Come, Suffolk, I must mock thee!
My lord, I plead! Suffolk's imperial tongue is stern and rough. Used to command and taught to plead for favour. Far be it we should honour such as these with humble suit. No, rather let my head stoop to the block than these knees bow to any, save to the God in heaven and to my king.
Hail him away and let him talk no more! As for those whose ransom we have set, it is our pleasure one of them depart. Therefore come you with us and let him go.
Now let his head and lifeless body lie until the Queen his mistress bury it, eh?
Oh, barbarous and bloody spectacle. His body will I bear unto the king. If he revenge it not, yet will his friends. So will the queen that living held him dear.
Jack Cade, the clothier, means to dress the Commonwealth and turn it and set a new nap on it.
So he had me, for 'tis threadbare. Well, I say, it was never merry world in England since gentlemen came up. I see 'em! I see 'em! There's Best Son, the tanner of Wingham.
The skins of our enemies to make dog's leather of.
And Dick the Butcher.
His sins termed of our supposed father?
We're all for stealing a kite of herring.
Yeah, command silence!
Silence!
My father was a Mortimer!
He was a good bricklayer.
My mother, a Plantagenet!
She was a midwife!
My wife descended of the Laces.
Ah, well, she was indeed a peddler's daughter and so many ladies.
Therefore, am I of an honourable household?
Aye, by my faith, for the field is honourable, and there was he born, underage.
Valiant I am.
And must needs, for beggary is valiant.
I fear neither sword nor fire.
Methinks he should stand in fear of fire being burned in the hand for the stealing of sheep.
Very brave then, for your captain is brave, and vows reformation. There shall be in England 7 8 loaves sold for a penny. And I will make it felony to drink small beer. All the realm shall be in common. And in Cheapside shall my portfrey get a grab. And when I am king, as king I shall be. Thank you, good people. There shall be no money. All shall eat and drink on my cost. And worship me, their Lord.
The first thing we do, let's kill all the lawyers.
That I mean to do. Now, is not this a lamentable thing? That of the skin of a poor innocent lamb should be made parchment. That parchment being scribbled o'er should undo a man.
The clerk of Chatham, he can read and write and cast the comps.
Ah, monstrous. Now, there's a villain.
Has a book in his pocket with red letters.
Nay, then here's a conjurer. Come hither, sir, I must examine thee. Nay, what is thy name?
Emmanuel.
We'll go hard with you.
Dost thou use to write thy name, Emmanuel? Or hast thou a mark to thyself? Like an honest, plain-speaking man.
Sir, I thank God I have been so well brought up that I can write my name.
Away with him and hang him! Here I am, thou particular fellow.
Fly! Sir Humphrey Stafford and his brother are hard by with the king's horses.
He shall be encountered with a good as man as himself.
Rebellious hinds, the filth and scum of Kent, marked for the gallows. Lay your weapons down. Home to your cottages. Forsake this groom. The king is merciful if you revolt, but angry, wrathful, and inclined to blood if you go forward. Therefore yield or die.
It is to you, good people, that I speak, over whom, in time to come, I hope to reign. For I am rightful heir unto the throne.
Thy father was a plasterer, and thou thyself a shearman, art thou not?
And Adam was a gardener.
Will you credit this base sludge's words that speaks he knows not what? Indeed! The Duke of York hath taught you this.
He lies, for I invented it myself. Go to, sirrah. Go tell the king from me, I'm content for his father's sake, Henry the Fifth. That he shall reign, but I'll be protector over him.
And furthermore, we'll have the Lord Say's head for selling the Duke to my maid.
And good reason. For thereby hath the Lord say gilded the Commonwealth and made it an eunuch. More than that, he can speak French, and therefore is he a traitor.
Anybody who can speak is miserable ignorance. Your dreadful words will not prevail. Assail them with the army of the king.
Herald, away! And throughout every town, proclaim them traitors that are up with Cade. And you that be the king's friends, follow me.
And you that love the commons, follow me! Now show yourselves men! 'Tis for liberty!
What answer makes your grace to the rebel supplication?
I'll send some holy bishop to entreat. For God forbid so many simple souls should perish by the sword. And I myself, rather than bloody war shall cut them short, will parley with Jack Cade, their general. Lord say, Jack Cade has sworn to have thy head.
Aye, but I hope your highness shall have his.
Ah, now, madam, still lamenting and mourning for Suffolk's death? I fear me, love, if that I had been dead, thou wouldest not have mourned so much for me. Ah, now, what news? Why comest thou in such haste?
The rebels are in Southwark! Fly, my lord!
Jack Cade proclaims himself Lord Mortimer, descended from the Duke of Clarence house, and calls your grace usurper openly. Graceless men, they know not what they do.
My gracious lord, retire to Killingworth until a power be raised to put them down.
Ah, were the Duke of Suffolk now alive, these Kentish rebels would be soon appeased.
Lord say, the traitors hateth thee, therefore away with us to Killingworth.
So might your grace's person be in danger. The sight of me is odious in their eyes, and therefore in this city will I stay and live alone as secret as I may.
Jack Cade hath gotten London Bridge. The rascal people jointly swear to spoil the city of your own.
Then linger not, my lord, away, take horse!
Oh, for succours. Farewell, my lord. Trust not the Kentish rebels.
Now is Mortimer, lord of this city. And here, setting upon London stone, I charge and command that of the city's cost, the pissing conduit run nothing but claret wine this first year of our life. And now, henceforward it shall be treason for any that calls me other than Lord Mortimer. Knock him down there.
Be wise! He'll never call you Jack Cade more! I think he hath a very fair one! My lord, there's an army gathered together in Smithfield.
Come. Let's go fight with the man. First, go and set fire to London Bridge. And if you can, burn down the tower too. So, sirs, now go some, pull down the Savoy! Others to the Inns of Court! Down with them all!
I have a suit unto your lordship.
May the lordship, thou shalt have it, for that word.
Only that the laws of England may come out of thy mouth. That's to be stinking law then, for his breath stinks of eating toasted cheese.
I've thought upon it shall be so.
Right!
Away! Burn all the records of the realm!
Aye!
My mouth shall be the Parliament of England!
boys! Here's the Lord's say, which sold the towns of France.
Lord's say?
Him that made us pay 1 and 20 15s, a 1 shilling to the pound, the last subsidy.
Well, he shall be beheaded for it 10 times! Thou say, thou surge, nay, thou buckram lord, now art thou within point blank of our jurisdiction regal. How canst thou answer to my majesty for giving up of Normandy under Monsieur Basimicou, the Dauphin of France? Being it known to thee by these presents, even the presence of Lord Mortimer, that I am the besom that will sweep the court clean of such filth as thou art. Thou hast most traitorously corrupted the youth of the realm in erecting a grammar school. And whereas our forefathers had no other books but the score and the tally, thou hast caused printing to be used. And contrary to the king, his crown and dignity, thou hast built a paper mill, which shall be proved to thy face that thou hast men about thee who usually talk of a name and a bird, and such abominable words as no Christian ear can endure to hear. Thou hast created justices of peace to call poor men before them about matters they were not able to answer. More than that, thou hast put them in prison, and because they could not read, thou hast hanged them. When indeed only for that reason they have been most worthy to live.
You men of Kent!
What are you of Kent?
Nothing but this. It is bona terra mala gent.
Away with him! Away with him! He speaks Latin.
Hear me but speak, and bear me where you will. Justice with favour have I always done. Prayers and tears have moved me. Gifts could never. When have I aught exacted at your hands? You cannot but forbear to murder me. This tongue hath parleyed unto foreign kings for your behoove.
Away with him and behead him.
Why dost thou quiver, man?
The palsy and not fear provokes you.
Nay, he nods at us. As who shall say, oh, be ye. Yes, but I'll see whether his head will stand steadier on us.
Tell me, wherein have I offended most? Have I affected wealth or honor? Speak! These hands are free from guiltless bloodshedding. This breath from harbouring foul, deceitful thoughts. Oh, let me live!
Take him away and strike off his head. The proudest peer in the realm shall not wear his head upon his shoulders unless he pay me tribute. There shall not a maid be married, but she shall pay to me a maidenhead. They shall have it.
My lord, when shall we go to Cheapside and take out commodities upon our bills?
Marry presently. What noise is this I hear?
No, Cage. We come ambassadors from the king unto the commons whom thou hast misled. And here proclaim free pardon to them all that will forsake thee and go home in peace.
What say ye, countrymen? Will ye relent and yield to mercy whilst 'tis offered you? Or let a rebel lead you to your deaths? Who loves the king and will embrace his pardon? Fling up his cap and say, God save his majesty. Who hateth him and honours not his father, Henry the Fifth, that made all France to quake? Shake he his weapon at us and pass by.
God save the king!
What, Buckingham and Clifford, are ye so brave? And you base peasants, do you believe him? Master needs to be hanged with your pardons about your necks? Hath my sword therefore broke through London gates that you will leave me now at the White Hart in Southwark? You're all recreants and bastards that delight to live in slavery to the nobility. Let them break your backs with burdens. Let them take your houses over your heads. Let them ravish your wives and daughters. Son of Henry the Fifth, that thus you do exclaim you'll go with him. Will he conduct you through the heart of France and make the meanest of you earls and dukes? Alas, he hath no home, no place to fly to, nor knows he how to live but by the spoil, unless by robbing of your friends and us. Were it not a shame that whilst you live ajar, the fearful French, whom you late vanquished, should make a start o'er seas and vanquish you? Methinks already in the civil broil I see them lording it in London streets, crying Viliaco unto all they meet. Better 10,000 base-born cades miscarry than you should stoop unto a Frenchman's mercy. To France, and get what you have lost. Spare England, for it is your native coast. Henry hath money, you are strong and manly. God on our side, doubt not of victory. Was ever feather so lightly blown to and from as this multitude? The name of Henry the Fifth hails them to 100 mischiefs. God's curse!
And he that brings his head unto the king shall have 1,000 crowns for his reward. Soldiers, follow me, and we'll devise a mean to reconcile you all unto the king.
Was ever king that joyed an earthly throne, and could command no more content than I? No sooner was I crept out of my cradle, but I was made a king, at 9 months old. Was never subject longed to be a king, as I do long and wish to be a subject.
Health and glad tidings to your majesty.
Why, Buckingham? Is the traitor Cade surprised, or is he but retired to make him strong?
He is fled, my lord, and all his powers do yield. And humbly thus, with halters round their necks, implore your highness' doom of life or death.
Then heaven set ope thy everlasting gates to entertain my vows of thanks and praise. And Henry, though he be unfortunate, assure yourselves will never be unkind. And so with thanks and pardon to you all, I do dismiss you to your several countries.
Your Grace, to be advertised, the Duke of York is newly come from Ireland, and with a presence and a mighty power of gallows glasses and stout kerns is marching hitherward in proud array, and still proclaimeth as he comes along, his arms are only to remove from thee the Duke of Somerset, whom he terms a traitor.
Stands my state, 'twixt Cade and York distressed, like to a ship that having scaped a tempest is straightway calm and boarded with a pirate. But now is Cade driven back, his men dispersed, and now is York in arms to second him. I pray thee, Buckingham, go and meet him and ask him what's the reason of these arms. Tell him I'll send Duke Edmund to the Tower, and Somerset, we will commit thee thither until his armies be dismissed from him.
My lord, I'll yield myself to prison willingly, or unto death to do my country good.
In any case, be not too rough in terms, for he is fierce and cannot brook hard language.
I will, my lord, and doubt not so to deal, as all things shall redound unto your good.
Come, wife, let's in and learn to govern better.
For yet may England curse my wretched reign.
High on ambition. I myself have a sword, and yet I'm ready to famish. These 5 days have hid me in these woods, but durst not peep out, for all the country is laid for me. Yet now am I so hungry that if I might have a lease on my life of 1,000 years, I could wait no longer. Wherefore on the brick wall have I climbed into this garden, see if I could eat grass, pick a salad.
Lord, who would live turmoiled in the court, and may enjoy such quiet walks as these. This small inheritance my father left me contenteth me, and worth a monarchy. I seek not to wax great by others' waning, or gather wealth I care not with what envy. Sufficeth that I have maintains my state, and sends the poor well pleased from my gate.
Here's the lord of the soil come to seize me for a stray, for entering his fee simple without leave.
Ah, villain! Thou wilt betray me, but I will make thee eat iron like an ostrich ere thou and I shall part.
Why, rude companion? Whatsoe'er thou be, I know thee not. Why then should I betray thee? It's not enough to break into my garden, but thou wilt beard me with these saucy terms.
Brave thee, I beard thee too.
Look on me well. I've eaten no meat these 5 days. Yet come thou and thy 5 men. But if I do not leave you all as dead as a doornail, I pray God I may never eat grass more.
Nay, it shall ne'er be said while England stands that Alexander Idle and his squire of Kent took odds to combat with a famished man. See if thou canst outface me with thy looks.
Ah! I'm slain. Be proud of thy victory. Famine and no other hath vanquished me. Wither, garden, and henceforth be thou a burying place for all that dwell in this house. Farewell, the unconquered soul of Cade is fled.
Is't Cade that I have slain? That monstrous traitor. Die, damned wretch, the curse of her that bare thee. Hence will I drag thee headlong by the heels unto a dunghill, which shall be thy grave, and there cut off thy most ungracious head, which I will bear in triumph to the king, leaving thy trunk for crows to feast upon.
From Ireland thus comes York to claim his right, and pluck the crown from feeble Henry's head. This hand was made to handle naught but gold. I cannot give you action to my words, except a sword or scepter balance them. What have we here? Buckingham to disturb me. The king hath sent him sure. I must assemble.
York, if thou meanest well, I greet thee well.
Humphrey of Buckingham, I accept thy greeting. Art thou a messenger, or come of pleasure?
A messenger, from Henry our dread liege, to know the reason of these arms in peace.
The cause why I have brought this army hither is to remove proud Somerset from the king.
That is too much presumption on thy part. But if thy arms be to no other end, the king hath yielded unto thy demand. The Duke of Somerset is in the Tower.
Upon thine honour, is he prisoner?
Upon mine honour, he is prisoner.
Then, Buckingham, I do dismiss my powers. Soldiers, I thank you all. Disperse yourselves. Meet me tomorrow in St. George's Field. You shall have pay and everything you wish.
York, I commend this kind submission. We twain will go into his highness' tent.
Buckingham, doth York intend no harm to us, that thus he marcheth with thee arm in arm?
In all submission and humility doth York present himself unto your highness.
Then what intends these forces thou dost bring?
To heave the traitor Somerset from hence, and fight against that monstrous rebel, Cade.
If one so rude, and of such mean condition, may pass into the presence of the king. Lo, I present your grace a traitor's head, the head of Cade, whom I in combat slew.
The head of Cade. Great God, how just art thou!
Oh, let me view his visage, being dead, that living wrought me such exceeding trouble.
Tell me, my friend, art thou the man that slew him?
I was, and like your majesty.
How art thou called, and what is thy degree?
Alexander Iden, that's my name. A poor esquire of Kent, that loves his king.
Iden, kneel down. Rise up, a knight. We give for reward 1,000 marks, and will that henceforth thou attend on us.
See, Buckingham, Somerset comes from the Queen. Go bid her hide him quickly from the Duke.
4,000 Yorks, he shall not hide his head, but boldly stand and face him, face to face.
How now? Is Somerset at liberty? Then, York, unloose thy long imprisoned thoughts, and let thy tongue be equal with thy heart. Shall I endure the sight of Somerset? False king! Why hast thou broken faith with me, knowing how hardly I can brook abuse? King did I call thee? No, thou art not king, not fit to govern and rule multitudes, which darest not or canst not rule a traitor. That head of thine doth not become a crown. Thy hand was made to grasp a palmer's staff, and not to grace an awful princely scepter. Give place! By heaven, thou shalt rule no more, or him whom heaven created for thy ruler.
O monstrous traitor! I arrest thee, York, of capital treason against the king and crown. Obey, audacious traitor. Kneel for grace.
Wouldst have me kneel? First let me ask of thee, if they come brook I bar an evil man. Sirrah, Call forth my sons to be my bail. I know how they'll have me go to ward. They'll pull their swords of my entrenchment.
Call hither Clifford, bid him come amain, to say if that the bastard boys of York shall be surety for their traitor father.
Oh, blood-bespotted Neapolitan, outcast of Naples, England's bloody scourge! The sons of York, thy betters of their birth, shall be their father's bail, and bane to those that for my surety will refuse the boys.
To deny their bail.
Happiness to my lord the king. We thank thee, Clifford. Say, what news with thee? Ah, nay, do not fright us with an angry look. We are thy sovereign, Clifford. Kneel again. For thy mistaking so, we pardon thee.
This is my King York, I do not mistake. He is a traitor. Let him to the tower and chop away that factious pate of his.
He is arrested, but will not obey. His sons, he says, will give their words for him.
Will enough, sons? Aye, noble father.
If our words will serve.
And if words will not, then our weapons shall. Why, what a brood of traitors have we here.
Call hither to the stake my two brave bears, that with the very shaking of their chains they may astonish these fell-lurking curs. Bid Salisbury and Warwick come to me.
Are these thy bears? We'll bait thy bears to death.
Oft have I seen a hot o'erweening cur run back and bite because he was withheld, who being suffered with a bear's fell paw, hath clapped his tail between his legs and cried. And such a piece of service will you do, if you oppose yourselves to match Lord Warwick.
Sheep of wrath, foul indigested lump, as crooked in thy manners as thy shape.
Why, Warwick, hath thy knee forgot to bow? Old Salisbury, shame to thy silver hair, thou mad misleader of thy brain-sick son. What wilt thou on thy deathbed play the ruffian? Oh, where is faith? Where is loyalty? If banished from the frosty head, where shall it find a harbour in the earth? For shame, in duty bow thy knee to me.
My lord, I have considered with myself the title of this most renowned duke, and in my conscience do repute his grace the rightful heir to England's royal seat.
Hast thou not sworn allegiance unto me?
I have.
Canst thou dispense with heaven for such an oath?
It is great sin to swear unto a sin, but greater sin to keep a sinful oath.
Call Buckingham, and bid him arm himself.
Call Buckingham and all the friends thou hast. I am resolved for death and dignity.
The first I warrant thee, if dreams prove true.
Now by my father's badge, old Neville's crest, the rampant bear chained to the ragged staff, this day I'll wear aloft my burgonet, even to affright thee with a view thereof.
And from thy burgonet I'll rend thy bear, and tread it underfoot with all contempt.
And so to arms, victorious father, to quell the rebels and their accomplices.
Aye, charity for shame, speak not in spite, for thou shalt sup with Jesu Christ tonight.
Foul stigmatic, that's more than thou canst tell.
If not in heaven, you'll surely sup in hell.
Warwick calls! Clifford, I say, come forth and fight with me!
How now, my noble lord, what, all afoot?
The deadly-handed Clifford slew my steed.
For one or both of us, the time is come.
Hold, Warwick. Seek thee out some other chase, for I myself will hunt this deer to death.
What seest thou in me, or why dost thou pause?
O war, thou thou son of hell, whom angry heavens do make their minister, throw in the frozen bosoms of our part hot coals of vengeance! Oh, let the vile world end, and the premised flames of the last day knit earth and heaven together. Wast thou ordained, dear father, to lose thy youth in peace, and to achieve the silvery livery of advised age, and in thy reverence and thy chair days thus to die in ruffian battle? Even at this sight, my heart is turned to stone. And while 'tis mine, it shall be stony. York, not our old men spares! No more will I their babes. Tears virginal shall be to me even as the dew to fire, and beauty that the tyrant oft reclaims shall to my flaming wrath be oil and flax. Henceforth I will not have to do with pity. In cruelty will I seek out my So lie thou there. For underneath an alehouse paltry sign, the castle in St. Albans, Somerset hath made the wizard famous in his death. Let him shun castles, safer shall he be upon the sandy plain. Sword, keep thy temper. Heart, be wrathful still. Priests pray for enemies, but princes kill.
Away, my lord! You are slow for shame, away!
Can we outrun the heavens? Good Margaret, stay!
What are you made of? You'll not fight, nor fly. If you be tame, we then shall see the bottom of all our fortunes. But if we haply escape as well we may to London get where you are loved, and where this breach now in our fortunes made may readily be stopped.
But at my heart some future mischief set. I would speak blasphemy ere bid you fly, but fly you must! Away, my lord, away!
Of Salisbury, who can report of him? That winter lion who in rage forgets aged contusions and all brush of time. This happy day was not itself, nor have we won 1 foot if Salisbury be lost.
My noble father, 3 times today I helped him to his horse, 3 times bestrid him. Thrice I led him off, persuaded him from any further act. But still, where danger was, still there I found him. But noble as he is, see where he comes.
By my sword, well hast thou fought today. By the mass, so have we all.
Now, as I hear, the king is fled to London to call a present court of parliament. Let us pursue them ere the writs go forth. What says my lord of Warwick? Shall we after them?
After them?
Nay, before them if we can. Now, by my hand, lords, 'twas a glorious day. St. Alban battle won by famous York shall be eternized in all age to come. Sound drum and trumpets, and to London all, and more such days as these to us befall. Victorious Prince of York, this is the palace of the fearful king, and this the regal seat. Possess it, York, for this is thine, and not King Henry's heirs.
Assist me then, sweet Warwick, and I will.
We'll all assist you. He that flies shall die.
Thanks, gentle Norfolk. The Queen today here holds her parliament. But little things we shall be at her council.
The bloody parliament shall this be called, unless Plantagenet Duke of York be king.
Then leave me not, my lords, be resolute. I mean to take possession of my right.
My lords, look where the sturdy rebel sits, even in the chair of state. Belike he means, backed by the power of Warwick, that false peer, to aspire unto the crown and reign as king. Earl of Northumberland, he slew thy father, and thine Lord Clifford, and you both have vowed revenge.
If I be not heavens be revenged on me.
The hope thereof makes Clifford mourn in steel.
What, shall we suffer this? Let's put him down. Be patient, gentle Earl.
Patience is for poltroons such as he. He durst not sit there had your father lived.
Ah, know you not the city favours them, and they have troops of soldiers at their beck.
But when the Duke is slain, they'll quickly fly.
Ah, be the thought of this from Henry's heart, to make a shambles of the Parliament House. Thou, factious Duke of York, descend my throne and kneel for grace and mercy at my feet. I am thy sovereign.
I am thine.
For shame, come down. He made thee Duke of York.
It was my inheritance, as the earldom was.
Thy father was a traitor to the crown.
Exeter, thou art a traitor to the crown in following this usurping Henry.
Whom should he follow but his natural king?
True, Clifford. And that's Richard, Duke of York.
And shall I stand and thou sit in my throne?
It must and shall be so. Content thyself.
Be Duke of Lancaster. Let him be king.
He is both king and Duke of Lancaster, and that the Lord of Westmoreland shall maintain.
And Warwick shall disprove it. You forget that we are those which chased you from the field and slew your fathers,
and with colours spread march through the city to the palace gates?
Will you show our title to the crown?
What title hast thou, traitor, to the crown? Thy father was as thou art, Duke of York. I am the son of Henry V, who made the Dauphin and the French to stoop.
Talk not of France, if thou hast lost it all.
The Lord Protector lost it, and not I. When I was crowned, I was but 9 months old.
You are old enough now, and yet methinks you lose. Father, tear the crown from the usurper's head.
Sweet father, do so. Set it on your head.
Sons, peace.
Peace thou! And give King Henry leave to speak.
Plantagenet shall speak.
Think'st thou that I shall leave my kingly throne wherein my grandsire and my father sat? My title's good, and better far than his.
But prove it, Henry, and thou shalt be king.
Henry IV by conquest got the crown.
'Twas by rebellion against his king.
I know not what to say. My title's weak. Tell me, may not a king adopt an heir?
What then?
And if he may, then am I lawful king. For Richard, in the view of many lords, resigned the crown to Henry IV.
He rose against him, being his sovereign, and made him to resign the crown perforce.
Suppose, my lord, he did it unconstrained. Think you 'twere prejudicial to his crown?
No. For he could not so resign his crown, but that the next heir should succeed and reign.
Art thou against us, Duke of Exeter?
His is the right, and therefore pardon me.
My lord,
my conscience tells me he is lawful king.
Why whisper you, my lords, and answer not?
All will revolt from me and turn to him.
King Henry, be thy title right or wrong, Lord Clifford vows to fight in thy defence. May that ground gape and swallow me alive, where I shall kneel to him that slew my father.
Clifford, how thy words revive my heart.
Henry of Lancaster, resign thy crown.
Do right unto this princely Duke of York, or I will fill the house with armed men.
My lord of Warwick, hear me but one word. Let me for this my lifetime reign as king.
Confirm the crown to me and to mine heirs, and thou shalt reign in quiet while thou livest.
I am content. Richard Plantagenet, enjoy the kingdom after my decease.
What wrong is this unto the prince your son? How hast thou injured both thyself and us?
I cannot stay to hear these articles.
Come, cousin. Let us tell the queen these news.
Farewell, faint-hearted and degenerate king.
Turn this way, Henry,
And regard them not.
Why should you sigh, my lord?
Not for myself, Lord Warwick, but my son, whom I unnaturally shall disinherit. But be it as it may, I here entail the crown to thee and to thine heirs forever, conditionally. But here thou take an oath to cease this civil war, and whilst I live to honour me as thy king and sovereign, and neither by treason nor hostility to seek to put me down and reign thyself.
This oath I willingly take, and will perform.
Long live King Henry. Plantagenet, embrace him.
And long live thou, and these thy forward sons.
Now York and Lancaster are reconciled. Farewell, my gracious lord. I'll to my castle.
And I'll keep London with my soldiers.
And I to Norfolk with my followers. And I, with grief and sorrow to the court.
Nay, go not from me. I will follow thee.
Be patient, gentle queen, and I will stay.
Who can be patient in such extremes? Ah, wretched man, would I had died a maid and never seen thee, never borne thee son. Hadst thou but loved him half so well as I, thou wouldst have left thy dearest heart-blood there, rather than made that savage duke thine heir and disinherited thine only son.
Father, you cannot disinherit me. If you be king, why should not I succeed?
Pardon me, Margaret. Pardon me, sweet son. The Earl of Warwick and the Duke enforced me.
Enforced thee? Art thou king, and wilt be forced? I shame to hear thee speak. Ah, timorous wretch, thou hast undone thyself, thy son, and me, and given unto the house of York such head as thou shalt reign but by their sufferance. To entail him and his heirs unto the crown? What is it but to make thy sepulchre and creep into it far before thy time? Warwick is chancellor and the lord of Calais. The duke is made protector of the realm, and yet shalt thou be safe? Such safety finds the trembling lamb environed with wolves. Had I been here, which am a silly woman, the soldiers should have tossed me on their pikes before I should have granted to that act. But thou preferest thy life before thine honour. And seeing thou dost, I here divorce myself both from thy table, Henry, and thy bed, until that act of Parliament be repealed whereby my son is disinherited. The northern lords that have forsworn thy colours will follow mine if once they see them spread. And spread they shall be, to thy foul disgrace and utter ruin of the house of York.
Say, Margaret, and hear me speak.
Thou hast spoke too much already. Get thee gone.
Gentle son Edward, thou wilt stay with me.
Aye, to be murdered by his enemies.
When I return with victory from the field, I'll see your grace. Till then, I'll follow her.
Come, son, away. We may not linger thus.
Poor queen. How love to me and to her son hath made her break out into terms of rage. Revenged may she be on that hateful duke, whose haughty spirit, winged with desire, will cost my crown, and like an empty eagle tire on the flesh of me and of my son. The loss of those 3 lords torments my heart. I'll write unto them and entreat them fair. Come, cousin, you shall be the messenger.
And I hope, shall reconcile them.
Brother, I be youngest, give me leave.
No, I can better play the orator. But I have reasons strong and forcible.
Why harm our sons and brother to strife? What is your quarrel? Who began it first?
No quarrel, but a slight contention.
About what?
About that which concerns your grace and us. The crown of England, father, which is yours.
Mine, boy. Not till King Henry be dead.
Your right depends not on his life or death.
I took an oath that he should quietly reign.
For a kingdom any oath may be broken. I would break 1,000 oaths to reign 1 year.
No, God forbid your grace should be forsworn.
I shall be, if I claim by open war.
I'll prove the contrary, if you'll hear me speak.
No, son, thou canst not. It is impossible.
An oath is of no moment, being not took before a true and lawful magistrate that hath authority over him that swears. Henry had none, but did usurp the place. Then seeing 'twas he that made you to depose, your oath, my lord, is vain and frivolous. Therefore to arms! And father, do but think how sweet a thing it is to wear a crown, within whose circuit is Elysium and all that poets feign of bliss and joy. Why do we linger thus? I cannot rest until the white rose that I wear be dyed, even in the lukewarm blood of Henry's heart.
Richard, enough. I will be king, or die. Brother, thou shalt to London presently, and wet on Warwick to this enterprise. But stay, what news?
What queen! With all the northern earls and lords intent here to besiege you in your castle, she is hard by with 20,000 men!
Edward and Richard, you shall stay with me. Brother wants you first to London, and trust not simple Henry nor his oaths.
I hear their drums. Let's set our men in order, and let issue forth and bid them battle straight!
Bloody Clifford comes.
Chaplain away. Thy priesthood saves thy life.
How Clifford murder not the innocent child, lest thou be hated both of God and man.
As for the brat of this accursed duke, whose father slew my father, he shall die.
Sweet Clifford, hear me speak before I die. I am too mean a subject for thy wrath.
Be thou revenged on men, and let me live.
In vain thou speakst, poor boy. My father's blood hath stopped the passage where thy word should enter. Had I thy brethren here, their lives and thine were not revenge sufficient for me. No, if I digged up thy forefathers' graves and hung their rotten coffins up in chains, it could not slake mine ire, nor ease my heart. The sight of any of the house of York is a fury to torment my soul, until I root out their accursed line, and leave not one alive. I live in hell. Therefore,
oh, let me pray before I take my death. To thee I pray, sweet Clifford, pity me.
Such pity as my rapier's point affords.
I never did thee harm.
Thy father has.
Oh, let me live in prison all my days, and when I give occasion of offence, then let me die. For now thou hast no cause.
No cause! Thy father slew my father! Therefore, die! Plantagenet! I come, Plantagenet! And this, my son's blood, cleaving to my blade, shall rust upon the weapon, till thy blood, congealed with this, do make me wipe off both!
The army of the Queen hath got the field, and all my followers to the eager fore turn back and fly like ships before the wind. Ah, hark, the faithful followers to pursue! And I am faint and cannot fly their fury. Here must I stay, and here my life must end.
Bloody Clifford.
Rough Northumberland, I am your butt, and I abide your shot.
Yield to our mercy, proud Plantagenet. Aye, to such mercy as his ruthless arm with downright payment showed unto my father.
Oh, I come you not! What? Multitudes and fear!
I will not bandy with thee word for word, but buckler with thee blows, twice 2 for 1!
Oh, the valiant Clifford! For 1,000 causes I would prolong a while the traitor's life.
What would your grace have done unto him now?
Brave warriors, Clifford and Northumberland. I'll make him stand upon this molehill here, that wrought at mountains with outstretched arms, yet parted but the shadow with his hand. What? Was it you that would be England's king? Was it you that revelled in our parliament and made a preachment of your high descent? Where are your messer sons to back you now? The wanton Edward and the lusty George. And where's that valiant crookback prodigy, Dickie, your boy, that with his grumbling voice was wont to cheer his dad in mutinies? Or with the rest, where is your darling Rutland? Look, York, I stained this napkin with the blood that valiant Clifford, with his rapier's point, made issue from the bosom of the boy. And if thine eyes can water for his death, I give thee this to dry thy cheeks withal. Alas, poor York, but that I hate thee deadly, I would lament thy miserable state. I prithee grieve to make me merry, York. Stamp, rave and fret, that I may sing and dance. Thou wouldst be feed, I see, to make me sport. York cannot speak unless he wear a crown. A crown for York. And lords, bow low to him. Hold you his hands whilst I do set it on. Aye. Marry, sir. Now looks he like a king. Aye. This is he that took King Henry's chair, and this is he was his appointed heir. But how is it that great Plantagenet is crowned so soon and broke his solemn oath? As I bethink me, you should not be king till our King Henry had shook hands with death. And will you pale your head in Henry's glory and rob his temples of the diadem? Now? In his life? Against your holy oath? Oh, 'tis a fault. Too unpardonable. Off with the crown, and with the crown his head, and whilst we breathe, take time to do him dead.
That is my office. For my father's sake.
Stay. Let's hear the orisons he makes.
Ye wolf of France, but worse than wolves of France, whose tongue more poisons than the adder's tooth. How ill-beseeming is it in thy sex to triumph like an Amazonian trull upon their woes whom fortune captivates. But that thy face is vizard-like, unchanging, made impudent with use of evil deeds, I would assay, proud queen, to make thee blush. 'Tis beauty that doth oft make women proud. But God, he knows thy share thereof is small. 'Tis virtue that doth make the most admired. The contrary doth make thee wondered at. 'Tis government that makes them seem divine. The want thereof makes thee abominable, O tiger's heart, wrapped in a woman's hide. How couldst thou drain the lifeblood of the child, to bid the father wipe his eyes withal, and yet be seen to wear a woman's face? Women are soft, mild, pitiful, and flexible. Thou stern, obdurate, flinty, rough, remorseless. Bidst thou me rage? Why, now thou hast thy wish. Wouldst have me weep? Why, now thou hast thy will. These tears are my sweet Rutland's obsequies, and every drop cries vengeance for his death. 'Gainst thee, fell Clifford, and thee, false French woman.
Show me what his passion moves me so that hardly can I check my eyes from tears.
That face of his, the hungry cannibals would not have touched, would not have stained with blood. But you are more inhuman, more inexorable, oh, 10 times more than tigers of Hyrcania. Take thou the napkin, and go boast of this. There. Take thou the crown, and with the crown my curse! Hard-hearted Clifford, take me from the world, my soul to heaven, my blood upon your heads.
Here's for my oath. Here's for my father's death.
And here's to right our gentle-hearted king.
Open thy gates of mercy, gracious God. Oh, my soul flies through these wounds to seek out thee.
Off with his head, and set it on York Gate, that York may overlook the town of York.
Duke of York, a prop to lean upon. Now thou art gone, we have no star, no stay.
Clifford, boisterous Clifford, thou hast slain the flower of Europe for his chivalry.
I cannot weep. Oh, my body's moisture scarce serves to quench my furnace-burning heart. Tears then for babes, blows and revenge for me. Richard, I bear thy name. I'll venge thy death.
His name that valiant duke hath left with thee. His dukedom and his chair with me is left.
No longer Earl of March, but Duke of York. The next degree is England's royal throne. For King of England shalt thou be proclaimed in every borough as we pass along. King Edward, valiant Richard, Montague, stay we no longer dreaming of renown, but sound the trumpets and about our task. See how the morning opes her golden gates and takes her farewell of the glorious sun.
Dazzle mine eyes. What do I see? 3 suns.
3 perfect suns, each one a glorious sun. Not separated with the racking clouds, but severed in a pale, clear, shining sky. See, they join, embrace, and seem to kiss. As if they'd vowed some league inviolable. Now are they but one light, one lamp, one sun. In this the heavens figure some event.
I think it cites us, brother, to the field. But we, the sons of brave Plantagenet, should notwithstanding join our lights together. Whate'er it bodes, and forward I will bear upon my target 3 fair shining suns.
Nay, bear 3 daughters. By your leave I speak it. You love the breeder better than the male.
How now, what news? The Duke of Norfolk sends you word by me. The Queen is coming with a puissant host and craves your company for speedy counsel.
Why then it's sorts, brave warriors, let's away!
Welcome, my lord, to this brave town of York. Yonder's the head of that arch enemy that sought to be encompassed with your crown. Doth not the object cheer your heart, my lord?
Aye, as the rocks cheer them that fear their wrack. To see this sight, it irks my very soul. Withhold revenge, dear God. 'Tis not my fault, nor wittingly have I infringed my vow.
My gracious liege, this too much lenity and harmful pity must be laid aside. Ambitious York did level at thy crown. Thou smiling whilst he knit his angry brows. He, but a duke, would have his son a king. Thou, being a king, blessed with a goodly son, didst yield consent to disinherit him, which argues thee a most unloving father. Were it not pity that this goodly boy should lose his birthright through his father's faults? Ah, what a shame were this! Look on the boy, and let his manly face, which promiseth successful fortune, steel thy melting heart to hold thine own, and leave thine own with him.
Full well hath Clifford played the orator, inferring arguments of mighty force. But Clifford, tell me, didst thou never hear that things ill-got had ever bad success? I'll leave my son my virtuous deeds behind, and would my father had left me no more.
My lord, cheer up your spirits, our foes are nigh, and this soft courage makes your followers faint. You promised knighthood to our forward son. Unsheath your sword and dub him presently. Edward, kneel down.
Edward Plantagenet, arise a knight, and learn this lesson. Draw thy sword in right.
My gracious father, by your kingly leave, I'll draw it as a parent to the crown, and in that quarrel use it to the death.
Why, that is spoken like a two-oared prince.
Well, commanders! Be in readiness, for with a band of 30,000 men comes Warwick, backing of the Duke of York, and in the towns as they do march along proclaims him king, and many fly to him. Arraign your battle, for they are at hand.
I would your highness would depart the field, but
Queen hath best success when you are absent.
Aye, good my lord, and leave us to our fortune.
Why, that's my fortune too. Therefore I'll stay.
Be it with resolution then to fate.
Now, perjured Henry, wilt thou kneel for grace and set thy diadem upon my head, or bide the mortal fortune of the field?
Go rate thy minions proud, insulting boy. Becomes it thee to be thus bold before thy sovereign and thy lawful king?
I am his king, and he should bow his knee. I was adopted heir by his consent, since when his oath is broke. For as I hear, you that are king, though he do wear the crown, have caused him by a new act of parliament to blot out me and put his own son in.
And reason too. Who should succeed the father but the son?
Aye. Are you there, butcher?
Oh, I cannot speak. Aye, crook back. Here I stand to answer thee, or any he, the proudest of thy sort.
Was you that killed young Rutland, was it not?
Aye. And old York.
And yet not satisfied! For God's sake, lords, give signal to the fight!
What sayest thou, Henry? Wilt thou yield the crown?
Why, how now, long-tongued Warwick, dare you speak? When you and I met at St. Albans last, your legs did better service than your hands.
Then 'twas my turn to fly. Now 'tis thine.
You've said so much before, and yet you fled.
Have done with words, my lords, and hear me speak.
Defy them then, so, or else hold close thy
I prithee give no limits to my tongue. I am a king and
My liege, the wound that bred this meeting here cannot be cured by words. Never be still.
Hey, Henry, shall I have my right or no? 1,000 men have broke their fast today that ne'er shall dine unless thou yield the crown.
If thou deny, their blood upon thy head. For York injustice puts his armour on.
If that be right, which Warwick says is right, there is no wrong, but everything is right.
Whoever got thee, there thy mother stands, for well I wot thou hast thy mother's tongue.
Thou art neither like thy sire nor dam, but like a foul misshapen stigmatic, marked by the destinies to be avoided as venom toads or lizards' dreadful stings.
Iron of Naples, hid with English guilt, whose father bears the title of a king, as if a channel should be called a sea. Shamest thou not, knowing whence thou art extort, to let thy tongue detect thy base-born heart?
For what hath broached this tumult but thy pride? Hadst thou been meek, our title still had slept, and we, in pity of the gentle king, had slipped our claim until another age.
But when we saw our sunshine made thy spring, and that thy summer bred us no increase, we set an axe to thy usurping root. And though the edge hath something hit ourselves, yet know thou, since we have begun to strike, we'll never leave till we've hewn thee down.
Sound trumpets! Let our bloody colours wave, and either victory, or else a grave.
Stay, Edward.
No, wrangling woman will no longer stay. These words will cost 10,000 lives this day.
With thee here alone. This is the hand that stabbed thy father, York. And this, the hand that slew thy brother, Rutland. And here's the heart that triumphs in their death, and cheers these hands that slew thy sire and brother to execute the like upon thyself. And so, have at thee!
So, Clifford, have I marked thee for the grave? Here's for my father's oath. Here's for my father's death.
Here burns my candle out. It dies, which whilst it lasted,
gave King Henry light. Oh, Lancaster, I fear thy overthrow more than my body's parting with my soul. Oh, Henry, hadst thou swayed as kings should do, or as thy father and his father did, giving no ground unto the house of York. They never then had sprung like summer flies, I and 10,000 in this luckless realm had left no mourning widows for our death. And thou this day hast kept thy chair in peace.
This battle fares like to the morning's war, when dying clouds contend with growing light. At time the shepherd, blowing of his nails, can neither call it perfect day nor night. Now sways it this way, like a mighty sea, forced by the tide to combat with the wind. Now sways it that way, like the self-same sea, forced to retire by fury of the wind. Sometimes the flood prevails, and then the wind, now one the better, then another best, both tugging to be victors breast to breast, yet neither conqueror nor conquered. Here on this high hill will I set me down. To whom God will, there be the victory. For Margaret, my queen, and Clifford too have chid me from the battle, swearing both they prosper best of all when I am thence. Oh God, methinks it were a happy life to be no better than a homeless swain, to sit upon a hill, as I do now, to carve out dials quaintly, point by point, thereby to see the minutes how they run. So many hours must I tend my flock, so many hours must I take my rest, so many hours must I contemplate, so many hours must I sport myself. So many days my ewes have been with young, so many weeks ere the poor fools will yean, so many years ere I shall shear the fleece, so minutes, hours, days, months, and years passed over to the end they were created, would bring white hairs unto a quiet grave. Ah, what a life were this! How sweet, how lovely! Gives not the hawthorn bush as sweet a shade to shepherds looking on their silly sheep, and doth a rich embroidered canopy to kings that fear their subjects' treachery? Oh, yes, it doth. 1,000-fold it doth.
Ill blows the wind that profits nobody. This man whom hand to hand I slew in fight may be possessed with some store of crowns, and I may happily take them from him now. Who's this?
Oh, God. 'Tis my father's face, whom in this conflict I unwares have slain. Oh, heavy times begetting such events. From London by the king was I pressed forth. My father, being the Earl of Warwick's man, came on the part of York, pressed by his master. And I, who at his hands received my life, by my hands of life bereaved him. Pardon me, God, for I knew not what I did. And pardon, Father, for I knew not thee. Oh, piteous spectacle. Oh, bloody times. Whilst lions war and battle for their dens, poor harmless lambs abide their enmity. Weep, wretched man. I'll aid thee tear for tear. And let our hearts and eyes, like civil war, be blind with tears and break, or charged with grief.
Thou that so stoutly hast resisted me, give me thy gold if thou hast any gold, for I have bought it with 100 blows. Well, let me see. Is this our foeman's face? Oh, no. 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 It is mine only son. Oh, our boy. If any life be left in thee, throw up thine eye. Oh, see. See what showers arise, blown from the winded tempest of my heart. Oh, pity God this miserable age. What stratagems! How fell, how butcherly this deadly quarrel daily doth beget.
Woe above woe. Grief more than common grief. Oh, that my death could stay these ruthful deeds. Oh, pity. Pity, gentle heaven, pity. The red rose and the white are on his face. Was ever son so rude a father's death?
Was ever father so bemoaned his son?
Was ever king so grieved a subject's woe? Much is your sorrow, mine 10 times so much. I'll bear thee hence where I may weep my fill.
These arms of mine shall be thy winding sheet. My heart, sweet boy, shall be thy sepulchre. For from my heart thine image ne'er shall go. I'll bear thee hence, and let them fight that will. For I have murdered what I should not kill.
Sad-hearted man, much overgone with care. Here sits a king, more woeful than you are.
Fly, father, fly! All your friends are fled! Away, good death, the police in pursuit!
March, my lord, towards Berwick First Domain. Edward and Richard, like a brace of greyhounds, having the fearful flying hare in sight, are at our backs, and therefore hence amain!
Away! For vengeance comes along with them! Nay, stay not to expostulate! Make speed! Or else come after! I'll away before! Nay, take me with thee, good sweet Exeter!
Breathe, we lord. Good fortune bids us pause. Smooth the ferns of war with peaceful looks.
Some troops pursue the bloody-minded queen.
And now to London, with triumphant march, there to be crowned England's royal king. From whence shall Warwick out the seat of France and ask the Lady Bona for thy queen. So shalt thou sinew both these lands together, and having France thy friend, thou shalt not dread the scattered foe that hopes to rise again. First will I see the coronation, and then to Brittany I'll cross the sea to effect this marriage, so it please my lord.
Even as thou wilt, sweet Warwick, let it be. For in thy shoulder do I build my seat, and never will I undertake the thing wherein thy counsel and consent is wanting. Richard, I will create thee Duke of Gloucester and George of Clarence. Warwick, as ourself, Shall do and undo as him pleases best.
Let me be Duke of Clarence, George of Gloucester. For Gloucester's dukedom is too ominous.
Shut, it's a foolish observation. Richard be Duke of Gloucester. And now to London, to see these honours in possession.
Under this thick grown brake we'll shroud ourselves. For through this land anon the day will come. And in this covert will we make our stand, culling the principal of all the deer.
I'll stand above the hill, so both may shoot.
That cannot be. The noise of thy crossbow will scare the herd, and so my shoot is lost. Here stand we both, and aim we at the best.
Let's stay till he be past.
From Scotland am I stone, even of pure love, to greet mine own land with my wishful sight. No, Harry, 'tis no land of thine. Thy place is filled, thy sceptre wrung from thee, thy balm washed off wherewith thou wast anointed.
This is the quondam king. Let's seize upon him.
Say, what art thou, talk'st of kings and queens?
More than I seem, and less than I was born to. A man, at least, for less I should not be.
Aye, thou talk'st as if thou wert a king.
So I am, in mind, and that's enough.
But if thou be a king, where is thy crown?
My crown is in my heart, not on my head, not decked with diamonds and Indian stones, nor to be seen. My crown is called content. A crown it is that seldom kings enjoy.
Well, you be a king, crowned with content. Your crown content on you must be contented to go along with us. For, as we think, you are the king King Edward hath deposed, and we his subjects, sworn in all allegiance, will apprehend you as his enemy.
Did you never swear and break an oath?
No. Oh, never such an oath, nor will not now.
Where did you dwell when I was King of England?
Here, in this country, where we now remain.
I was anointed king at 9 months old. My father and my grandfather were kings, and you were sworn true subjects unto me. And tell me then, have you not broke your oath?
No, for we were subjects but while you were king.
Why, am I dead? Do I not breathe a man? Ah, simple-hearted men, you know not what you swear. But do not break your oaths, for of that sin my mild entreaty shall not make you guilty. Go where you will, the king shall be commanded. And be you kings, command and I'll obey.
We are true subjects to the king, King Edward.
So would you be again to Henry if he were seated as King Edward is?
We charge you in God's name and in the king's to go with us unto the officers.
In God's name lead, your king's name be obeyed. And what God will, that let your king perform. And what he will, I humbly yield unto.
Brother of Gloucester, at St. Albans Field, this lady's husband, Sir Richard Grey, was slain. His lands then seized on by our House of York. Her suit is now to repossess those lands, which we, in justice, cannot well deny.
Your Highness would do well to grant her suit. It were dishonour to deny it her.
It were no less, but yet I'll make a pause.
Is it so? I see the lady hath a thing to grant before the king will grant her humble suit.
Widow, we will consider of your suit and come some other time to know our mind.
Right gracious lord, I cannot brook delay.
May it please your highness to resolve me now. And whatso pleases you shall satisfy me.
And I'll warrant you all your lands, and if what pleases him shall pleasure you.
I fear her not, unless she chance to fall.
God forbid that. For he'll take vantages.
How many children hast thou, widow? Tell me.
I think he means to make a child of her.
Nay, then whip me. You'd rather give her 2.
3, my most gracious lord.
You shall have 4 if you'll be ruled by him.
'Twere pity they should lose their father's lands.
Be pitiful, dread lord, and grant it then.
Lords, give us leave. I'll try this widow's wit. Now, tell me, madam, do you love your children?
I, full as dearly as I love myself.
And would you not do much to do them good?
Therefore I come unto your majesty.
I'll tell you how these lands are to be got.
So shall you bind me to your highness' service.
What service wilt thou do me if I give them?
What you command. That rests in me to do.
But you will take exception to my boon.
No, my good lord, except I cannot do it.
Nay, but thou canst do what I mean to ask.
Why then, I will do as your grace commands.
He flies her hard.
Nay, and then her wax must melt.
Why stops, my lord? Shall I not hear my task?
An easy task. 'Tis but to love a king.
That's soon performed, because I am a subject.
Why then, thy husband's lands I freely give thee.
I take my leave, with many thousand thanks.
The match is made. She seals it with a curtsy.
But stay thee. 'Tis the fruits of love I mean.
The fruits of love I mean, my loving liege.
Aye, but I fear me in another sense. What love thinkst thou I sue so much to get?
My love till death, my humble thanks, my prayers, that love which virtue begs and virtue grants.
No, by my troth, I did not mean such love. To tell thee plain, I aim to lie with thee.
To tell you plain, I had rather lie in prison.
Why, then thou shalt not have thy husband's lands. Therein thou wrongst thy children mightily.
Herein your highness wrongs both them and me. Please you dismiss me, either with aye or no.
Aye, if thou wilt say aye to my request, no if thou dost say no to my demand.
Then no, my lord, my suit is at an end.
The widow likes him not, for she knits her brows.
He is the bluntest wooer in Christendom.
Looks to argue her replete with modesty. All her perfections challenge sovereignty. One way or other, she is for a king. Say that King Edward take thee for his queen.
I am a subject fit to jest withal, but far unfit to be a sovereign.
By my state I swear to thee, I speak no more than what my soul intends.
'Twill grieve your grace, my son shall call you father.
No more than when my daughters call thee mother. Answer no more, for thou shalt be my queen. Brothers, you muse what chat we two have had?
The widow likes it not, for she looks very sad.
You'd think it strange if I should marry her?
To whom, my lord?
Why, Clarence, to myself.
That were 10 days' wonder at the least.
Well, jest on, brothers. I can tell you both. Her suit is granted for her husband's lands.
My gracious lord, Henry your foe is taken and brought prisoner to your palace gate.
See thee to be conveyed unto the tower. And go we, brothers, to the man that took him to question of his apprehension. Well, go you along. Lords, you sir honourably.
Aye. Edward will use women honourably.
Would he were wasted, marrow, bones, and all, that from his loins no hopeful branch might spring, to cross me from the golden time I look for.
And yet, between my soul's desire and me, the lustful Edward's title buried, is Clarence, Henry, and his son, young Edward, and all the unlooked-for issue of their bodies to take their rooms ere I can place myself. A cold premeditation for my purpose. Why, then, I do but dream on sovereignty, like one that stands upon a promontory and spies a far-off shore where he would tread, wishing his foot were equal with his eye, and chides the sea that sunders him from thence, saying he laid it dry to have his way. So do I wish the crown being so far off, and so I chide the means that keeps me from it, and so I say I'll cut the causes off, flattering me with impossibilities.
My eye's too quick, my heart o'erweens too much, unless my hand and strength could equal them.
Well, say there is no kingdom, then, for Richard.
What other pleasure can the world afford?
I'll make my heaven in a lady's lap, and deck my body in gay ornaments, and witch sweet ladies with my words and looks. Oh, miserable thought, and more unlikely than to accomplish 20 golden crowns.
Why, love forswore me in my mother's womb.
For I should not deal in her soft laws, she did corrupt frail nature with some bribe, to shrink mine arm up like a withered shrub,
to set an envious mountain on my back where sits deformity, to mock my body, to shape my legs of an unequal size, to disproportion me in every part like to a chaos or an unlicked bare whelp that carries no impression like the dam. And am I, then, a man to be beloved? Monstrous fault to harbour such a thought.
Then, since this earth affords no joy to me, but to command, to check, to o'erbear such as are of better person than myself, I'll make my heaven to dream upon the crown, and whiles I live, to account this world but hell, until my misshaped trunk, which bears this head, be round impaled with a glorious crown. And yet I know not how to get the crown, for many lives stand between me and home. And I, like one lost in a thorny wood that rends the thorns and is rent with the thorns, seeking a way, yet straying from the way, not knowing how to find the open air, yet toiling desperately to find it out, torment myself to catch the English crown. And from that torment I will free myself, or hew my way out with a bloody axe. Why, I can smile and murder whiles I smile, and cry content to that which grieves my heart, and wet my cheeks with artificial tears, and frame my face to all occasions. I'll
drown more sailors than the mermaid shall. I'll slay more gazers than the basilisk. I'll play the orator as well as Nestor, deceive more slyly than Ulysses could, and like a Sinon take another Troy. I can add colours to the chameleon, change shapes with Proteus for advantages, and set the murderous Machiavel to school. Can I do this and cannot get a crown? But were it further off, I'd pluck it down.